The divorce papers felt warm in my hand as I happily posted the news on Facebook. Across from me, my wife, Anna, stared at the scene unfolding before her, lost. She still couldn't believe we were actually divorced. Just days ago, she was at the helm of a company worth hundreds of millions. Now, she was walking away with nothing. The immense drop was too much for her to process, leaving her paralyzed at the doors of City Hall. And the architect of her downfall was none other than herself. Our marriage began 5 years ago, born from a strategic alliance between our two corporate dynasties. She needed my access to overseas markets, and I needed her domestic manufacturing base. It was a merger of convenience, a seamless union built not on passionate love, but on the rational foundation of mutual benefit. And, just as we predicted, both our companies thrived. But it was within this winning scenario that Anna developed an intense, protective fixation on an intern, Leo Jenkins. For him, she went as far as giving him my office, the one I held as co-chairman. Leo wasted no time posting a picture of it on his Instagram with the caption, "Thank you, Ms. Anna, for your trust and guidance. I'll work hard not to disappoint." My assistant screenshotted it and sent it to me via iMessage. The office layout was completely changed, all my awards gone. I forwarded it directly to Anna. "What is this? Why is an intern in my private office?" Her reply came as a voice note, tinged with the sound of evening drinks. "Darling, it's just an office. You're not using it right now. Anyway, I want that office restored to its original state within 10 minutes. Anna didn't reply. 2 minutes later, Anna Industries' most critical contract was abruptly terminated. If someone wanted to challenge my authority, I had no problem bankrupting her company to make a point. Anna's calls started flooding in, one after another. I let it ring until the 5th call before I answered. Her furious scream ripped through the speaker. "Noah, are you insane? That's a $200 million project. You know the product launch is next week. Halting it now will destroy the company. Over an office, are you serious?" It was the first time in our 5-year marriage she had ever raised her voice at me for another man. I took a slow sip of scotch, the cool liquid tracing a path down my throat, a chill spreading through my chest. "This isn't about the office, Anna. Restore it immediately. That includes every single one of my awards in their exact positions. Otherwise, your company stands to lose a lot more." The line went silent for a few seconds. "You have 5 minutes," I said coldly, and hung up. 2 minutes later, she sent a photo of the restored office. Everything was back in its place. As soon as I received it, I contacted the project lead and rescinded the termination order. Then, I sent Anna a photo of my own. It showed her study, completely emptied, including the expensive piece of modern art she'd just won at auction. I followed it with a second picture, the sculpture in 1,000 pieces on the floor. "This is your punishment," I texted. "You know my temper. Don't let it happen again." She didn't respond. I knew she was furious, but I was furious too. And it didn't come home that night. I knew it was her way of showing her anger. The next day, I removed the bandage from my leg and went directly to the corporate headquarters. Employees' eyes widened in surprise as they saw me. Then they quickly lowered their heads. "Mr. Carter, I thought you were still recovering from your injury. What brings you to the office today?" the young woman at the front desk asked with concern. "Some things require a personal touch," I replied with a slight nod and headed straight for the executive floor. The moment the elevator doors opened, I heard laughter coming from Anna's office. Through the half-open door, I saw Leo sitting beside her. Anna's eyes were filled with a smile, a stark contrast to the cold indifference she usually showed her other assistants. Normally, she never allowed anyone but me to sit in her office for long, let alone did she ever show such a gentle expression. But now, she and Leo were so close there was barely any space between them, deep in a cheerful conversation. Leo was wearing a high-end designer suit. It was a style I had my eye on, one Anna had mentioned she wanted to buy for me. The suit wasn't just expensive, it was a limited edition, one of only 5 in the world. And now it was on an intern. I pushed the door open. The laughter stopped abruptly. The smile on Anna's face froze. "What are you doing here?" Leo shot to his feet, a respectful expression plastered on his face. "Mr. Carter, good to see you. I heard you just had surgery. You should be at home resting. Why did you suddenly come to the office? I let out a cold laugh. Who gave you permission to comment on my affairs? What kind of blind fool hired such an insolent waste of space? The smile on Leo's face stiffened. He opened his mouth at a loss for words. Take off that suit. Now. The atmosphere in the room plunged to freezing. Leo's eyes widened, his lips trembling in disbelief. He looked to Anna, his eyes pleading. I turned to her, my gaze like ice. Explain. Why is my suit on him? Anna's brow furrowed in frustration. Because of what happened with the office yesterday, Leo was being gossiped about by a lot of colleagues. I was just giving him a little compensation. It's just a suit. I'll get you a better one later. I sneered. This suit may not be a big deal to us, but it's one of only 5 in the world. What makes him worthy of wearing it? Besides, yesterday's incident was his own fault for not knowing his place. Anna, have you forgotten your place, too? Have you forgotten who I am? Who gave you the right to give away what belongs to me? My words left Leo's face pale with fright. He stammered an explanation. I'm sorry, Ms. Anna. I didn't know this suit was for Mr. Carter. Now that I know, I'll take it off right away. Seeing that I wouldn't let up, Anna grew agitated. Noah, don't take it too far. We have a project to discuss. Stop making a scene. My heart sank. She never raised her voice to me in the office, but now she was breaking her own rule for Leo. Beside her, Leo, seeing Anna stand up for him, let out a quiet sigh of relief. Project? What project? A collaboration with the Harrison Group. Leo and I were just about to leave, Anna said, tugging at her sleeve, her tone growing more impatient. Leo was a great help in this matter, so I'm bringing him along to the meeting. I raised an eyebrow, a sarcastic smile playing on my lips. I had no idea an intern had that much influence, enough to affect the decisions of a publicly traded company. Anna's face darkened. She picked up her bag and motioned for Leo to follow. Let's go. We can't be late. As they passed me, Leo shot me a triumphant smirk, his eyes filled with defiance. So that's how you want to play it, Anna, I thought. Since you insist on defending him, don't blame me for what comes next. After they left, I pulled out my phone and dialed the private number of the Harrison Group's chairman. Mr. Harrison, it's Noah Carter. About that deal Anna is coming to discuss today. An hour later, my phone rang. It was Anna. She was furious, her voice practically a roar. Noah, what the hell are you trying to do? Not only did Mr. Harrison publicly humiliate Leo, calling him a boy toy who slept his way to the top, but he also said Anna Industries was built on your back. He said I'm finding other men while you're recovering, that I'm ungrateful and disloyal. You put him up to this, didn't you? I chuckled softly. Anna, I can't control what other people think or say. People have eyes. They can judge right from wrong for themselves. Leo walked out, humiliated. The deal is dead. Are you satisfied? Satisfied? I'm extremely satisfied. You both got exactly what you deserved. After hanging up, the fire in my chest subsided slightly. Soon after, I got a message from my assistant. The news about Leo had spread throughout the company like wildfire. When he returned, he was met with whispers and pointed fingers. Some colleagues openly called him shameless and accused him of using dirty tricks to get ahead. Someone had thrown everything on his desk into the trash. He desperately shouted that he wasn't that kind of person, that they couldn't do this to him, but no one listened. Who would risk their job to defend an intern against the co-chairman? Everyone was kicking him while he was down. I'd seen it a million times. Leo had brought this upon himself. An intern with no background and no real skills, thinking he could climb to the top on a little bit of favor from Anna. It was a joke. Humiliated, Leo submitted his resignation. Since he wasn't even a full-time employee, HR approved it instantly. He got what he deserved for not knowing his place and coveting a position that was never his. When Anna returned from her failed meeting and found out Leo had left the company, her face turned black. When she got home that night, I was putting our son, Mason, to sleep. The little guy's cheeks were chubby, and his nose and eyes were just like hers. She stood at the door of the nursery, her expression dark, but she deliberately kept her voice down. Leo did nothing wrong. He's just a hard-working kid. Now, because of you, he's not only lost his job, but his reputation is ruined. Noah, Your temper tantrums have to have a limit. I motioned for her to be quiet, gently laying our sleeping son in his crib. I walked out of the room, closing the door behind me before speaking. Anna, I'll say it again. I had nothing to do with Leo being bullied or quitting. I had tried to tell myself it didn't matter, but the anger and distrust in her eyes still stung. Ask yourself, how many of your own rules have you broken for that kid? It was your silent approval, your indulgence, that gave him these delusional ideas. There is nothing going on between Leo and me, she retorted fiercely. Nothing? You gave him something that was meant for me. You let him move into your office. Don't forget, your last assistant wasn't even allowed to place a chair in your office to give a report. But now you're constantly making exceptions for Leo, even glaring at your own husband for him. I stepped closer to her, looking down at her, and said, word by word, Anna, I'll admit, I do care about you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have married you, wouldn't have had a child with you. But you also know that Noah Carter doesn't tolerate even a speck of dust in his eye. I can't stand the slightest hint of betrayal. If you dare cross that line, even if it's just an emotional affair or ambiguity, I have no problem finding a new mother for my son. Anna's face turned ashen. She spun around and strode towards the guest bedroom. But I understood. This matter was for now over. She would go to the guest room, cool off, and by the next day, we would be back to normal. That was the unspoken agreement of our 5-year marriage. But all our previous conflicts had been about business or family. This was the first and the last time it would be about another man. Early the next morning, Anna's phone rang. The screen displayed Leo's name. She hesitated for a moment before answering. Leo's voice, choked with sobs, came through the phone. Ms. Anna, I really don't know what to do. Slow down. What happened? Anna said, her brow furrowed, her voice gentle. I'm being harassed online. My pictures are everywhere, and everyone is calling me the boy toy who slept his way to the top. I'm so scared. I can't even leave my house. Leo's voice trembled with fear and helplessness, punctuated by faint sobs. Anna's face became incredibly ugly. She looked at me, her eyes blazing with fire. Don't panic. Stay home and don't move. I'll handle this right away. News that Leo had offended me had already made the rounds in our circles. Even if I didn't give the order, business partners looking to curry favor with me would take the initiative. I had seen the online chatter that morning. It wasn't as severe as Leo made it out to be in his call. But I had to admit, his damsel in distress act had successfully ignited Anna's protective instincts. After hanging up, Anna's fury erupted. She slammed her phone on the table, her eyes red as she questioned me. Noah, what are you trying to accomplish? Leo is already out of the company, out of our lives. Why are you still targeting him? When did you become so vicious, abusing your power as my husband and co-chairman? I slammed my own coffee cup down on the table, refusing to indulge her. I told you I didn't do anything. The entire company knows he offended you. Who else would do something like this? Anna, in all these years, when have you ever known me to do something and not admit it? You keep questioning me over an intern. It seems to me you're the one who's lost your mind over him. Anna, her face livid, stormed out, slamming the door behind her. I calmly wiped my mouth, watching her leave, a flicker of disappointment in my eyes. That afternoon, as I was scrolling through social media, I noticed that all the negative posts about Leo had vanished. In their place was an official statement from Anna Industries. The statement claimed that Leo Jenkins was an exceptionally talented individual who had earned his position at Anna Industries through merit. It went on to say that the company would not tolerate malicious slander against its employees and would pursue legal action against any false rumors online. My phone screen lit up with a new message. It was from my assistant. Mr. Carter, Ms. Anna not only had the legal department issue a statement, but she also publicly announced that Leo Jenkins will be returning to the company effective immediately as her chief of staff. She said anyone caught spreading rumors or gossiping will be fired on the spot. Now the whole company is buzzing that there's something going on between them. My assistant's words felt like a punch to the gut. A moment later, he sent another screenshot. It was a Facebook post from Leo. The storm has passed. True gold fears no fire. My hard work has not been in vain. Thank you, Ms. Anna, for recognizing my abilities. I will do my best to support you and will not betray this trust. The accompanying picture was of an offer letter. He had been rehired as the president's chief of staff at Anna Industries, with a salary on par with a vice president. I looked at that nauseating post and slammed my phone on the desk, a murderous look in my eyes. Not long after, Anna came home to grab some files. She didn't even glance at me, heading straight upstairs to her study. As she came down with what she needed, I tapped my fingers on the coffee table to stop her. Anna, what is the meaning of this? She stopped, looking at me with cold eyes. Leo is a diligent employee who was targeted and driven out of the company by you for no good reason, and then subjected to online harassment. I am simply compensating him for the mistakes you made. This is what he deserves. And what if I demand you fire him? Then you can try, she shot back. Before, I tolerated your behavior out of respect for you as my husband. I let you abuse your power to hurt people. But I've had enough. This time, I will not sacrifice Leo, and I will not let you have your way anymore. Anna turned and left, the sound of the door closing echoing through the villa. In that moment, I lost all hope for her. Our 5-year marriage, a partnership we had built, was cracking because of a man who had shown up less than a month ago. I sat on the sofa, anger and disappointment swirling inside me. The water glass in my hand shattered from the pressure, and blood trickled down my palm. I forced myself to calm down. If she was determined to stand with Leo, then she couldn't blame me for being ruthless. Anna, you will pay for today's decision. I picked up my phone and dialed my personal attorney, Michael Davis. Michael, I need you to draw up divorce papers immediately. Make sure the asset division is clean. I want everything back. Michael was stunned by my sudden decision. He asked cautiously, Mr. Carter, are you serious? A divorce is a major step. Do it. Now, I want to see the papers in 3 days. Yes, I understand. And Ms. Anna, don't inform her. This is my decision. After hanging up, I opened my laptop and pulled up every file related to my business dealings with Anna Industries. Over 5 years of marriage, I had given her company countless advantages and resources. It was time to take them all back. I then issued a direct order to Carter Global's overseas headquarters. Notify all partners to suspend all collaborations with Anna Industries. The reason is a technical readjustment. Understood, Mr. Carter, came the crisp reply. No questions asked. My orders were always followed without hesitation. Next were the core tech teams Carter Global had invested in Anna Industries. I instructed HR to recall all of them, offering double their salaries to return. These moves caught my father's attention. His call came through quickly. I cut straight to the point. Dad, I've decided to divorce Anna. There was a moment of silence on the other end before my father's voice came through. Have you thought this through? Completely. All right then. I want to ask why. Your mother and I trust you, and we support your decision. Since you've made up your mind, don't hesitate. The Carters don't do things halfway. Within 2 days, I had quietly withdrawn everything. The funds in our joint accounts were transferred one by one, ensuring Anna could never touch them again. And she remained completely oblivious. During these 2 days, Leo's social media was incredibly active. He posted daily pictures of himself accompanying Anna to business events, showing off a new car, a new watch, a new office. The caption was always some variation of, "Thank you, Ms. Anna, for your guidance." I glanced at it on the first day and then blocked him. I had no time for such trash. My focus was entirely on preparing for my new ventures. The phone rang suddenly. The caller ID showed Anna's name. Noah, it's my dad's birthday today. He wants us to come to the old house. If you don't want to go, I'll go by myself. Her voice was cold and distant. I glanced at the divorce papers on my desk and smiled faintly. I'll be there. It's time to settle this once and for all. At 7 that evening, I drove my Maybach through the gates of the Anna family estate in the Hamptons. The courtyard was brightly lit, and I could hear the faint sound of laughter. Anna's parents and a few relatives were standing at the door to greet guests. When they saw me get out of the car alone, a flash of surprise crossed their faces. Noah, dear, where's Anna? It was no wonder they were surprised. In 5 years of marriage, this was the first time we hadn't arrived together. She said she'll be here later. They welcomed me warmly inside. The butler personally brought me a glass of single malt scotch. I sat on the sofa, took the glass, and sipped it calmly. Half an hour later, the main door opened again. Anna had finally arrived. But to everyone's shock, Leo Jenkins was trailing behind her. Mr. Anna's face immediately darkened. A flicker of anger flashed in his eyes. Anna, this is a family dinner. Why did you bring an outsider? Dad, Leo is my chief of staff. We just finished with some business, so I brought him along. This is a family dinner. How can you mix it with company business? Mr. Anna's voice grew louder. Send him home. Leo's expression changed, and he looked at Anna with a wounded expression. This tactic clearly worked on her. She immediately defended him. Dad, Leo is my right-hand man. He's been so busy today, he hasn't even eaten. Let him stay. Seeing his daughter so clueless, Mr. Anna became even more furious. Noah is busy. Has his assistant ever shown up here? This is a family dinner, not one of your corporate parties. Butler, show him out. The butler was caught in the middle, unsure of what to do as he watched the family drama unfold. Leo stood behind Anna, but his eyes kept darting towards me, a subtle, provocative smirk on his lips. This whole farce had exhausted my patience. That won't be necessary, I said coldly, interrupting their argument. I took a file from the inner pocket of my suit jacket and placed it on the table in front of them. I came today specifically for this. When they saw the large words divorce agreement on the cover, the entire room fell silent. Anna's face went deathly pale. Her purse slipped from her hand, hitting the floor with a dull thud. Her voice trembled as she questioned me. Noah, you want to divorce me? Are you insane? My gaze shifted from Anna to Leo, then back to her. I am perfectly sane. More sane than I've ever been. Anna's parents rushed forward, trying to mediate. Noah, if there's a misunderstanding, let's talk it out. Let's not be impulsive. There's nothing more to say. My mind is made up. I won't sign it. Anna suddenly screamed, her eyes turning red. Because I made Leo my chief of staff, you want to divorce me? You know exactly why, Anna, I said, staring into her eyes. I warned you. I even gave you a chance. Noah Carter never gives second chances. I made an exception for you, and you threw it back in my face. Since you chose to stand on my head for a pretty boy, don't blame me for being merciless. The scene erupted into chaos. Anna refused to sign. Her mother grabbed my arm, her voice pleading, Noah, please calm down. Let's discuss this. Don't be rash. I politely but firmly pulled my arm away. This decision is final. There's no turning back. Anna, you can refuse to sign. If you do, I'll see you in court. With that, I turned and walked out, leaving the disastrous party behind me. Standing before the floor-to-ceiling windows of my office, overlooking the entire city, I felt a sense of relief I hadn't felt in years. My assistant, Jason, walked into my office holding a new report. Mr. Carter, another 30 core employees from Anna Industries submitted their applications to us today. His voice was filled with excitement he couldn't hide. To date, we've successfully poached over 100 of their key technical staff. Anna's stock hit its limit down at the opening bell today. That's the 5th consecutive day. Furthermore, several of their key projects have been terminated due to the brain drain. There are already rumors on the market that they're on the verge of bankruptcy. I nodded slightly. It was all going according to plan. Without my support, without her core technical team, she was a fish out of water, just thrashing around, waiting to die. Oh, and one more interesting piece of news, Mr. Carter, Jason said, a smile he couldn't suppress spreading across his face. Apparently, Leo Jenkins made a grand speech at an Anna Industries executive meeting, proposing a pivot to the tech sector. The project failed catastrophically right after it launched. Now it's absolute chaos inside that company. I sneered. He's a liberal arts major trying to direct a team of engineers. The arrogance is astounding. It was the expected outcome. Leo was just a polished, empty shell with no real talent or business acumen. Anna had been blinded to have entrusted such a critical decision to someone like him. My desk phone lit up. Another call from Anna. It was the 15th missed call from her today. I sent her number straight to my block list. I had no interest in hearing her explanations or apologies, and even less interest in how she was doing. I heard that after Anna Industries' stock continued to plummet and multiple projects were paralyzed, she finally came to her senses and fired Leo. But it was too late. The company was gutted, its market value having evaporated by nearly half. That afternoon, security called. "Mr. Carter, Ms. Anna is in the lobby demanding to see you. Don't let her up. She says she won't leave until she sees you," the guard said, sounding troubled. "Then let her stand there. Have someone keep an eye on her. Make sure she doesn't cause a scene." I hung up and went back to my work. Didn't she understand? It was over. That night, Jason messaged me that Anna had stood at the entrance for 2 hours before security finally had to escort her away. The next day, security called again. This time, it was Anna's father. I thought for a moment, then nodded for my assistant to let him up. After all, her parents had always been good to me. "Mister." Anna's eyes were bloodshot, and he looked significantly older. He got straight to the point the moment he walked in. "Noah, I know she was wrong. She realizes her mistake now. Can you give her one more chance?" His voice was pleading, his eyes filled with hope. "Mr. Anna, I respect you, but this is irreversible. I know she messed up, but she's learned her lesson. I hope you can consider the years you had together." I cut him off. "You understand, sir. Some mistakes, once made, can't be undone. She's already fired Leo. She regrets it so much now. This isn't about firing Leo. Anna didn't just disrespect me. She betrayed the trust between us. I can't tolerate that. There's no possibility of us getting back together. If she doesn't sign the divorce papers, I will continue to crush Anna Industries until it is completely bankrupt." Mr. Anna's face turned grim. "I understand. I'll convince her to sign. I will raise our son. The Anna family can visit him anytime." I felt for the old man, but I wouldn't compromise my principles. I didn't want any more ties to Anna. Mr. Anna sighed, nodded, and walked towards the door, his back stooped. 3 days later, the signed divorce papers were on my desk. As night fell, I finished the last of my work and prepared to leave. As I exited the building, a pathetic figure caught my eye. Leo Jenkins was being held by 2 security guards, his clothes disheveled, his hair a mess. When he saw me, he began to struggle violently, nearly breaking free. "Noah, this is all your fault. You ruined my career. You ruined everything." I kept a safe distance, looking down on him. "Mr. Jenkins, you seem to have misunderstood something. You were fired because you are incompetent. Those strategies of yours were just secondhand garbage you copied from the internet, full of holes." Leo's face flushed with anger, the fire in his eyes stoked by my words. I continued. "You only became chief of staff at Anna Industries by playing the victim and manipulating Anna's sympathy. You're just a pretty face with no substance, a boy toy who gets ahead by charming women. That's all you are. You bullied those beneath you and stole from the company, and no one dared to say anything because you were hiding behind Anna, using her trust and protection. You think you're anything in my eyes? You're less than trash." His face contorted, my words clearly hitting their mark. He suddenly broke free from the guards and lunged at me. "Shut up. I'll kill you." I didn't move an inch. Just as he was about to reach me, the guards tackled him to the ground. I walked over and placed my foot on his hand. "Leo, if you ever show your face in front of me again, I will make your death slow and painful. Crushing you is easier than stepping on an ant. You should pray I never see you again." Leo completely broke down, screaming maniacally, "Noah, you'll rot in hell. I'll kill you." The guards immediately covered his mouth and dragged him away. That night, an anonymous account online leaked compromising photos of Leo from his time working at an escort service. In the photos, he was fawning over several older, wealthy women, pouring them drinks. Soon after, security footage of him shoplifting and chat logs of him conning an ex-girlfriend out of money during college were all exposed. I didn't order any of it, but there were plenty of people eager to get on my good side. Those who wanted to gain Carter Global's favor took care of it themselves. Mr. Anna used his influence to blacklist Leo from the industry, leaving him with nowhere to turn. Ultimately, Leo ended up back at the same escort service, returning to his old profession. I heard he died less than a month later from a drug overdose. In the 6 months following the divorce, I signed 3 major contracts, doubling my company's stock price. My career soared. A major business weekly named me their Entrepreneur of the Year. Anna, with her father's help, began the long and arduous process of rebuilding her company. She occasionally appeared in business news, the sharp edge in her eyes gone, replaced by a touch of weariness. 3 years passed in the blink of an eye. My company had become a leader in the industry. My image as a powerful, single soul made me the object of many women's desires, but my heart remained focused on my business and my son, Mason. I had no interest in pursuing another relationship. Mason was 4 now, bright and lively, and his smile was just like mine. After the divorce, I dedicated most of my time to him, personally dropping him off and picking him up from preschool every day. I even had a small corner of my office set up with his toys and drawings, so he could come over anytime. "Daddy, when is Mommy coming to see me?" Mason asked suddenly, his eyes full of anticipation. I checked my phone's calendar. "Your birthday is the day after tomorrow. Mommy will probably bring a gift." According to our divorce agreement, Anna could visit Mason twice a month for no more than 3 hours each time. In 3 years, she had never missed a visit. No matter how busy she was, she always showed up at the agreed-upon time with a carefully chosen gift, doing everything she could to make up for her failings. Although I still held a grudge against her, I never prevented Mason from seeing her for the sake of his healthy development. Over these 3 years, Anna Industries had gradually recovered under Anna's efforts. Though it was smaller than before, it was stable. We would occasionally see each other at business functions, exchanging a brief nod. Nothing more. On Mason's 4th birthday, I threw a small party at my home, inviting his friends and their nannies. When I opened the door, Anna was standing outside, holding a huge wrapped box. "Happy birthday," she said softly. "The gift," I said, taking it from her with a nod. "I'll be back in exactly 3 hours." Anna nodded, her eyes full of reluctance as she watched me leave. Over the past 3 years, she had tried in various ways to hint at a reconciliation. At business events, she would pointedly mention the good times we once shared. When she dropped Mason off, she would linger for a few extra minutes, trying to make small talk. She even had mutual friends pass along messages that she still loved me and wanted to start over. But I rejected every attempt. Some things, once broken, can never be put back together. My life now was complete. A successful career, a happy and healthy son, a life full of purpose. Compared to that past marriage, I was freer and more at ease than ever before.